Okay, hello friends, and welcome. If you are new here, I am so glad you have found my little piece of the YouTubeverse, and I hope you stick around. And if you are a returning or a subscriber, thank you for coming back. I truly appreciate all of you so much. My name is Erin, and together with my husband Gary, we are aiming to pay off all of our consumer debt in 2021, and we're documenting the process along the way to hold ourselves accountable. And today I'm going to be sharing with you our debt payoff progress thus far for 2021, as well as our net worth update for the month of February. And these are just two additional ways we measure success and maintain our accountability. If you are wondering what this adorable furry friend is on the screen, this is the quokka, and it is Western Australia's most favorite wallaby and known as the world's happiest animal, due in part because of their massive grin and smile, but also because they are just darn cute as well. So, cute Aussie animal to brighten your day, whatever day of the week it is. But let's go ahead and let's jump into those numbers. Okay, so the first area that I want to start is how we are going in terms of our debt progress. And so I just have here, it's a really simple spreadsheet where I track what our debt balance was at the end of the previous month, what our debt balance at the end of the current month. That gives us our debt progress and then a percentage. And we repeat that not just for the month, but for the year. And I repeat that entire process with the mortgage as well. And the reason why I separate the two of them out, and you can even see pretty quickly, is because just the differences in percentages really can make a difference in, for me, that visual motivation. I have the numbers for January here, but we're just going to look at February. So our debt balance at the beginning of February is $36,991, and this was our starting point of $41,936. Our debt at the end of February was $32,901, meaning that we had a debt progress in the current month of $4,090, which was about 10% of the total consumer debt paid off. Slight decrease from the month before, but still pretty good progress. For our progress by the start of the year, our debt balance at the start of 2021, so this was everything combined. This is not the amortized amount. This is just the amount without any consideration of interest, was $41,936. And again, our debt balance is $32,901, meaning thus far in 2021, we have paid off $9,035 or 22% of our consumer debt. Now we are just 2 months into this process and we are looking to pay off all of this consumer debt by the end of 2021. So to be at 22% at 2 months in means that we are really tracking quite well to at the end of March be at or above 25%. So that would be the 1/4 mark of the year already, but then also the 1/4 mark of the decrease in what our consumer debt progress was. And because this is not including interest calculated in, these payments do take into account interest. So this is what we've paid minus the amount of interest to give an accurate number. So a nice 22% in terms of progress there. Next, we also have our mortgage progress. And this one I separate out because it's not going to move as quick until we start targeting it. We will get there eventually, but you'll see the numbers here percentage-wise are much lower, and then also the balances are much, much higher. So our balance at the end of January, the start of February for the house was $402,993. At the end of February, $402,193. So we paid $800 in principal and the remaining to interest. It was just under $700. So we paid off just less than 1/4%, but it is still progress overall. Since the beginning of the year, we have paid in principal $1,319 So 1/3 of a percentage. We are hoping that in 2022, when we have that goal of paying off that cap of an additional $30,000, which we're allowed to do over the next 4 years while it's in a fixed loan, that will also make and have a considerable impact in taking out a pretty good chunk of what it is we owe. But in general, for just our progress overall, not too displeased on how we are going, making pretty good gains, and really we are on track for hitting our goals. And that's why I say this is something that we measure. What is measured gets done, and you can't really measure your success if you don't have tangible numbers that you are looking at. So this is something that, and since we have these numbers, these actually feed directly into calculating our net worth. So you'll have seen probably quite a few videos around YouTube. If your net worth is simply your total assets minus your liabilities. Part of those assets is your home, and a part of those liabilities is any debts that you have outstanding. Here we have a tracker for all of these different numbers themselves. Here we have our basic tracker. So looking at what our key assets are. Again, we do not include everything in this. That is just a decision that my husband has made and some concerns that he had raised. We did have quite a few changes as well. Home value staying at $470,000. So it's about 54% of our assets. Our cash on hand saving, this is because we did use quite a bit of our sinking funds in February. So we did have a decrease from January to February, accounts for just less than 1%. Our retirement accounts not doing too great this February, but that is also typical for many Australians from other things that I have watched. So only a slight increase to 311,488. That makes up 36%. Vehicles, all of those are the same. If anything, we've had it reaffirmed with the motorcycle is worth having the claim on it. So 58,000, and then other, this is just a separate account. So total for our asset is $870,755. Monthly change, a decrease of 1,964, and that is reflected from this savings cash on hand decrease. And so these are always going to go up, down, up, down. So year to date had a drop from January as well. So 7,979 and a negative. And this is a part of looking at your net worth monthly, because markets are long term. Coming up with savings is long term. Paying off debt is long term. And so sometimes looking at that month by month, it only gives you a snapshot of what the month looked like, not what the entire year is going to look like. So you kind of take it with a grain of salt. Yes, you see a negative number and you're like, oh, boo. But then you go, okay, so wasn't the greatest of months in the markets. And you go, okay, let's move on to March and see how we go there. So I'm not going to be too worried or lose any tears over having that drop. That is just the way things go. In terms of our liabilities, our mortgage, so we just saw what that balance was, $402,193 still owed. That is 92% of our liabilities overall. Our loan, we are down to $28,394. And then the biggest chunk, our credit card, you can see that we started at $12,216. We are down to $4,847. So getting really close to getting that liability taken care of. That drops our total liabilities to $435,434. So around a $10,000 decrease for the year thus far. Again, not too shabby for being 2 months in. So we had a monthly liabilities change of $4,550, giving us about a 1%. And this is also where you can see this is that difference between having the mortgage calculated in versus having the consumer debt by itself, as I do with our debt progress and debt payoff update. So we are down at 1% change. Subtracting our total asset, our liabilities from our total assets gives us a net worth of $435,321, a slight change of $2,586. Our net worth change year to date, $17,993, giving us a total net worth change year to date of 4.31%. Okay, now using the numbers that we calculate each month. In December, had a net worth of $417,000, and then at the end of February, $435,321. So we have assets in blue, liabilities in kind of this peachy color, and then our net worth is a trend line that is following behind. So we can see that, that slight dip in our assets, but one of the most important ones is this liability is consistently trending downward. So increasing your net worth, it is not something that is going to happen overnight. Well, I mean, I guess it might if you win the lottery or, have heaps of money or something like that. But for the most part, it is just something that takes time. And this is, as I said, one of the challenges with checking it not week by week. Whew, that'd be really difficult. Tracking it month by month instead of quarterly or even twice a year. You're not necessarily going to see those large gains. And if anything, those variations and those fluctuations of gains and losses are going to stand out quite a bit more as well. So keep that in the back of your mind as you are looking at things. It is only a snapshot of things for that day, and everything changes day by day, but it does give you a good general idea of where you are at. And again, for us, because our target is paying off that consumer debt, seeing those decreases in our liabilities is very motivating, helps to keep us going on this particular journey because we are seeing what we are doing pay off. So that is all that I have for this month, debt payoff progress and net worth update. So a question for you then is, are you tracking your net worth or your debt payoff progress? And if so, how did February look for you? Particularly because many of us here are in different parts of the world. I know many people, mostly from the United States, a couple people from Australia. Really curious to know if you are tracking this, how things were this month or even these first 2 months out of the year. And are you seeing any increases? Are you seeing decreases? Are you staying positive? Are you staying motivated? So go ahead and drop that down in the comments below, and I will get to them with some responses. As always, remember to choose kindness, show gratitude, always keep a positive mindset. If you need help doing that, remember the quokka. You can't not smile when you see the quokka, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.